Absolute dandy of a game as we begin our basketball season here. It's Thayer Central versus Hanover. We have a doubleheader for you here with the girls going first and then the boys. We just had the JV play, and they had a four-quarter game. So the girls' game was supposed to tip at 6 o'clock, but it is 6:03 right now, and that tip-off will be a little delayed because of the extended JV game. But, Ron, I'll let you say a few things before we head to break really fast, but Hanover comes into this game. They're the defending state champions in Kansas. Last season, they went 25-0 in the girls in the girls division. How do you feel about them looking to start their season against the Thayer Central team that won last night?
Well, I think it should be interesting I think obviously this is their first game for defending their state title, and I think it would be interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, I think it would be, obviously it'd be great if they got a win tonight, but I think that they should probably be a little more pressure, put more pressure on the ball, because this is a Thayer Central team that did play last night, so if they can put them in high pressure situations early, it might tire them out.
Yeah, and Thayer Central dominated Republic County last night, 52-19, so they're 1-0 on the season. Meanwhile, Hanover hasn't played a game yet. This is their first game being played as the defending state champions. We'll take a quick break and come back right after this on Ole Red 99.5. Welcome back to Hanover, Kansas, as the varsity boys game is about to get underway. And Hanover has already won their the first game, as the girls varsity took down Thayer Central, and the tip is won by Hanover. We'll see how this game shapes up, as starting with the ball here for Hanover and driving the baseline, and then laying it up on a reverse is Braylon Mine, the sophomore who gets his first points of the season here. Thayer Central, by the way, 1-0 after a win last night, beating Republic County 37-33. Thayer Central, once again, though, in the all-black uniforms. Hanover's in their white. And we get a foul inside. This one's going to go, it looks like, on Patrick Cook, the senior. Starting lineups here for both teams. For Thayer Central, it's going to be Brady Dagenhart starting off, as well as Will Heitman. With the ball right now is Lucas Kroll. Also in the game is Sam Sourdike, who led the team in points last year, as well as Tegan Hergott. This shot is off the mark, goes off of a Thayer Central player. It was Sourdike, and that's going to be out of bounds. Hanover ball.
Yeah, nice job by Hanover getting putting a little bit of pressure on the ball there and forcing that turnover.
So Hanover works it around with Patrick Cook, working it back outside for Brigham Bruna, who drives it and floats it up, and it goes off the glass, but no good. Here comes Sourdike the other way. We'll talk a little bit about him. And the next dead ball, Sourdike, turn around, fade away, off the mark, rebound inside. There's a foul, and it looks like it's going to go on Brigham Bruna. Listen to this. Actually, no, this one's going to go on Thayer Central, excuse me. But either way, this is a crazy stat. So last season, Will Heitman had 7.9 points per game. He was second on the team. First on the team was Sam Sourdike with 19.7 points per game. A full nearly 12 points per game ahead of the second-place player on the team. We get a moving screen foul on Hanover. It's going to go on Patrick Cook. And Thayer Central gets the ball back. 2-0 Hanover leading it over Thayer Central. Minute and 11 into the first quarter.
Yeah, it's kind of starting a little bit like the girls' game. Some turnovers early on both sides.
Yeah, both teams maybe getting a little bit of rust off like the girls' game. Lucas Kroll brings it ahead. Feeds it ahead for Hergott. Working it to the top of the key for Dagenhart. Here's Kroll again, working it to Sourdike. Sam Sourdike, pump fakes. Drives it inside, drives the right side. Stops on a dime and puts in the layup. He's got 2 points. These two teams met last season, and it was a little bit of a closer game. 39-28 Hanover win. Sourdike led the team with 18 points as that pass is deflected by Sourdike out of bounds. And Braylon Mine is there to inbound it by the Thayer Central bench. Goes inside in the paint. Garrett Martin fakes once. That ball is deflected by Sourdike and out of bounds. It'll be a baseline inbound here for Hanover.
Sourdike all over the place here early defensively.
Oh, yeah, and we'll say his name a lot on offense and defense as well. As here's the inbound from the baseline here for Brigham Bruna. Goes to the top, all the way up. for Cameron Juniman. Checks into the game, the junior. Heard a couple of Juniman names in the girls' games as well. Trying to drive it inside is Brigham Bruna. Drives it, gets tripped. I think he fell over his own feet. The ball is fought for between Bruna and Hergott, and it is going to be possession Thayer Central off the jump ball. 1 minute and 55 seconds into the first. Still 2-2 in tie game. Sourdyke brings it ahead, gets a nice screen, pulls up for three, and that one's off the mark from the top of the key. Rebound falls into the hands of Garrett Martin for Hanover. Bringing it ahead quickly is Tanner Bruna. Whips it around the three-point line. Braylon Mine trying to drive the baseline. Tipped away by Sourdyke, and he steals it away. Trying to go fast break. Here comes Sourdyke. Spin move in the paint. Layup is up, and it toilet bowls out. Could have been an and one as he was fouled. Now he'll get 2 shots.
Only Kyle Mathas, folks, would say toilet bowls out.
Hey, you'll hear it all season from me. And if you're just wondering, and I'll say this for the first 2 doubleheaders, and then I'm assuming all of you listening will know this, a toilet bowl is when it rims around and comes back out. That one hits the rim 3 times and is off the mark on the free throw. That is not a toilet bowl, though. That is not considered a toilet bowl.
All right.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get it ingrained into all of southeast Nebraska eventually.
Duly noted.
Sourdyke is 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and Thayer Central leads it 3-2 over Hanover. As here comes Mine again, the sophomore. Works it around. They give it back to Mine. Here's Mine driving it inside. Kicks it into the corner for Juniman. Cameron Juniman kicking it back outside. Here's Mine again in the paint. Posting up. Needs some help. Gets it to the top of the key for Brigham Bruna. Oh, excuse me. This is actually Tanner Bruna. Tanner Bruna in the corner for Juniman. Cameron Juniman driving the baseline and is fouled on the attack by Hergott. Tegan Hergott, the junior. So another foul committed here by Hergott. That's the second. That's the second foul for Thayer Central. Hanover has 3 fouls already. And there goes Hergott, checked out of the game. Coming in for him is David Johnson, number 33. Oh, miscommunication by Hanover. This could be a backcourt violation, but they say it's not off the inbound. As moving it up ahead quickly is Tanner Bruna. He fed it inside for Garrett Martin, and there's a foul somewhere in all that mess. It's going to be the third here for Thayer Central.
That was indeed a mess.
Yeah, it's been a crazy, fast-paced game. We expect that out of these high school games.
Yep.
Up-tempo. The foul is going to go here on Will Heitman. The drive inside, the layup off the mark by Braylon Mine. The foul is going to be committed here by Sourdyke. Sourdyke, the junior, and he is one of the tallest players on the floor. There's a reason why he was averaging 19.7 points per game last year. So it's not going to be a shooting foul. It's going to be a inbound on the baseline. Working it to the top of the key. Hanover down by 1, 3-2. Nearly midway through the first quarter. They work it for Martin. Garrett Martin tries to find the cutter. Instead they go to Braylon Mine at the top of the key. Gets a screen. Picks up his dribble. Gets it inside. Brigham Bruna driving. Fakes the shot. Fadeaway jumper. And it rolls in off the rim. And Hanover leads it 4-3. 3.5 into the first quarter. What a game it's been so far. This was a pretty close game last season as Sourdyke gets a screen, pulls up from the elbow. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Hanover. Quickly up ahead comes Brigham Bruna. Not expecting the pace of this game to go down at all throughout the game. Maybe a tad in the second half. And then miscommunication between Braylon Mine and Tanner Bruna. And the ball goes out of bounds and turnover by Hanover.
Yeah, the defenses have been very active so far in this first half, and it is probably why we've seen so many turnovers.
So 4-3, Hanover lead. Hanover won this game last year, 39-28, and they were led by Chase Bruna, who had 13 points. Sourdyke led Thayer Central with 18. Driving the baseline, kicking it back to the top. Pump fake at the top of the key by Lucas Kroll. He goes down for David Johnson. Kicks it back out. Here's Heitman driving it on the baseline, and he's fouled inside. There was 2 guys in there that could have committed the foul. I don't know who it was on. Let's take a look at who the ref says. It's going to go on Garrett Martin here of Hanover. That's his first. Looks like we're also going to get a substitution. Coming in the game is going to be Hayden Behrens. As the first free throw off the mark by Heitman. So Behrens comes in for Braylon Mine. Or excuse me, My apologies. It's actually Braxton Welch coming in for Lucas Kroll. I got Hanover and Thayer Central confused. It happens to the best of us. As Heitman goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and we're all tied up at 4 on.
Yeah,
a low-scoring game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, going back to getting tied up with the players, a lot of similar numbers on both squads.
Oh, yeah. As here comes Mine up ahead. He's still in the game. Mine receives the pass back from Garrett Martin. Posts up. They get it in the corner. Three-pointer on the way. It's good by Hunter Kickoffer. 7-4 Hanover.
Tonight's game brought to you by Long Crop Service in Hebron and Warren Clinic in Hanover Hospital.
This game really, really being played at a fast pace right now, as it looks like it's going to be Heitman getting the call here from Trenton Kuhlman, head coach. Heitman drives it inside, goes off glass, and that one somehow rolls in after spending about 3 seconds up there deciding whether or not it wants to go in or not. And then the pass ahead by Mine is tipped by Sourdike out of bounds.
Is that Heitman that got those 2 points?
That was, yes.
Okay.
This game has no timeouts called so far, barely any stoppages. It's just been back and forth down the floor. As a long pass taken all the way back inside of his own paint, Braylon Mine, as he brings it across midcourt. Hanover with the ball. Dumping it off here. Kickoffer. Pump fake at the free throw line by Garrett Martin. Here's Brigham Bruna. Working it out to the outside. Here's Behrens. Back to Brigham Bruna. Trying to drive it in on that right side. It gets double teamed. They get it back to Mine at the top of the key. Drives it inside. Finds the cutter. Layup on the way. Off the mark for Garrett Martin. And now he's helped up by his teammate Hunter Kickoffer. 2 shots coming up here for Hanover.
A hard foul there by Thayer Central, and looks like Martin's okay though.
So 2 shots here for Garrett Martin. First one is good. So Hanover up 8-6. Looks like we're going to get a substitution here for Thayer Central. Noah Tierney comes in. And coming out of the game looks like it's Will Heitman. So 2:41 to play. This is actually the first stoppage that we've had, it feels like, in a long time. But after this free throw, it's off the mark. The pace is going to increase, and it is. Sam Sourdike moving it up ahead quickly. Stops. Pump fakes. Gets it back. Here's a three-pointer on the way. It rims in and out. Then it hits the backboard and goes back in. Noah Tierney on the 3. And it's 9-8 Thayer Central. They were trailing by 2. Now they lead by 1. This game going back and forth so far in the early stages. 2:15 to play. Driving it on the left side of the court. Trying to make a move here is Hayden Behrens. He brings it back outside, and that one is deflected out of bounds by Sourdike. Well, Sourdike's a big scorer, but right now we're seeing him play really good defense. As Mine feeds it back to Brigham Bruna at the top of the key. Working it on that right side. Bruna cuts inside. Finds a cutter, and Garrett Martin fouled again inside.
Tonight's game brought to you by Hebron Central Market, Western National Bank with 11 locations in Nebraska and Kansas, including Chester and Byron, Wensky Repair in Byron, and Ranke Manufacturing.
First free throw by Martin. He's 1 for 2 tonight, and now make that 2 for 3s. He makes the first one, ties the game at 9. And this is the biggest developing story of the game so far here early in the game. Sam Sourdike picks up his second foul. So he's checked out of the game as their leading scorer last season by nearly 12 points per game. We'll see how that ends up being a development here. Looks like it's Laken Weedle into the game, checking in for Sourdike. Number 15, the sophomore. 1:50 to play in the first. They go down low, and that one's deflected and turned over. Garrett Martin gets the steal, but Brigham Bruna has the ball. Bruna trying to drive it inside, picks up his dribble. He's got to be careful here. Feeds it around here for Behrens. Behrens driving it inside, kicks it in the corner. Pump fake. They drive inside. Bruna trying to find the cutter and turns it over. Taken by Johnson. Up ahead, here comes Weedle the other way, and he actually slows it down, which is a rarity in this game, but given the pace.
It certainly has been a rarity.
And now we're going to get a traveling violation here on Braxton Welch, who just checked into the game as well for Thayer Central. That's surprising because I couldn't quite see his feet move on that one.
Yeah, I couldn't. It must have been very early in that sequence.
Well, 10-9 is the score in favor of Hanover, and they have the ball. Garrett Martin with it at the free throw line. Feeds it outside for Brigham Bruna, who had trouble getting the ball but gets it back. Bruna in the left corner of the court, and then we get a whistle. And I couldn't quite tell what the call is, but the Thayer Central fans are cheering, so I'm guessing it's on Hanover. So 53 seconds to play in the first. I mean, this has been such a fast-paced first quarter, Ron.
Yeah, and and again, you got to look at the defenses putting a little bit of pressure on these offenses to take some quick shots.
Well, Welch has it, feeding it to Heitman. Excuse me, that's actually Tierney. Now they give it to Heitman. Heitman beyond the three-point line, feeds it over to the right side of the court for Welch. Braxton Welch skips it across for Tierney. Tierney getting a screen. They have 30 seconds. So they can honestly take this to the second quarter if they want. It's 10-9 Hanover. 22 seconds, still just passing it around the three-point line for the moment. Now they drive it inside. Here comes Tierney. He's like a bulldozer running into Brigham Bruna. It's an offensive foul, a charge.
Well, that's a killer there for Thayer Central. Had an opportunity to take the lead before the end of the quarter, and now we'll see if Hanover can extend it.
Well, 16 and a half seconds to play. Hanover would really like to get at least a two-pointer and make it a three-point game. By the way, it was a three-point game at the end of the first in the girls' game. Driving it inside is Braylon Mine, and that is going to be a foul, a shooting foul. Looks like two shots coming up here for Mine. The Thayer Central fans didn't like it. They thought it was all ball on the block. But 8.2 seconds to go. But even after these free throws were on, Thayer Central is going to get a shot here to go down the floor and try to at least get some points. As Mine makes the first one, 11-9.
Tonight's game brought to you by Dewis Automotive in Hanover and River Road Repair and 81 Trailer Sales in Hebron.
Braylon Mine trying to go 2 for 2. He's got 2 points already. Make it 3. Here comes Thayer Central. Time winding down. Lucas Kroll got to put up the 3 at the buzzer. It's off the mark. No good. And just like the girls' varsity game, the boys' varsity game the same way. A 3-point Hanover lead over Thayer Central at the end of the first quarter. 12-9. Hanover in front. We'll be right back on All Red.